In this video, I will be demonstrating the three different methods of tenderization. The first method is the different cuts of the meat. In this case, it's ribeye labeled as number 1, and labeled as number 2 is sirloin steak. For the second method of tenderization, I will be using acidic tenderization. And for this example, I will be using kiwi fruit as the acid for which meat will be tenderized. And for my third method, it would be mechanical tenderization. Here I will be using a meat pounder as a method for mechanical tenderization. Method 1 of tenderization involves the cut of the meat. Here we have a ribeye cut and a sirloin cut. The difference between both of them is that a ribeye cut is focused more on the loin region of the cattle, which makes it a bit more tender in contrast to sirloin. Despite it being within the same region, sirloin still uses a bit more locomotion, or the muscles where sirloin steak is located, it requires more locomotion, thus it's a more tougher meat because of its higher concentration of connective tissue. As a result, what we expect to see after both steaks have been prepared and cooked is for the ribeye to have a more tender taste or feel to it in contrast to the sirloin cut. As a result, we also are going to be expecting sirloin to be a bit more tougher when we're trying to bite off from it. In this experiment, I will be using method 2 for acidic tenderization, and the kiwi juice, which I will extract from these kiwis, I will use it on one of these sirloin steaks to demonstrate its tenderness after it's cooked compared to the non-acidic sirloin steak. So right now I will go ahead and here we are. So now as you can see, we have our kiwi juice in which we will be using to tenderize the sirloin steak meat. Just make sure to put a bit on the surface, and this, what it would allow, it allows the surface of the protein to be broken up a bit because of its acidic content in the fruit. Make sure to get some of this. So I will be leaving this for 30 minutes, and after 30 minutes, it should be, I'll add some seasonings and flavorings to it. Another fun fact, the kiwi juice will add more flavor to the sirloin steak, as explained in our nutritional sciences book for 351. In this method, I will be using mechanical tenderization. I will be pounding this sirloin steak meat with a mallet, just so that it's able to break the surface tension of this sirloin steak meat. So right now, I'll be demonstrating for at least roughly a minute mechanical tenderization by pounding. And that is mechanical tenderization.
This one's more tender than that one.
This one? B? Okay. And just to say out here for the camera what's going on, this here, B, was the ribeye steak. A was the sirloin steak. So out of 3, we already have one method that has been proved effective just by the cut of how the meat was obtained.
These are big cuts.
Yeah.
But this one was more tender.
D?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. And just to explain what's going on, D was the meat that I used. D and C were both sirloin steak, but D was prepared using the acidic juice from the kiwi. So it gave it a bit of more flavor if you could taste it as well.
It tasted kind of tangy, kind of like fruity, but it was kind of weird. I mean, it's not like my favorite steak, but it was more tender than the first one.
And there you have it.
Okay. Finally. This one seemed a little bit more tender.
That one, both of these were sirloin steaks as well, just because I wanted to experiment on the tougher meat. But F was the one that I pounded for over a minute with a mallet. So, as expected, the results that we're seeing right now are concurrent with what was predicted might have occurred. From this experiment, what was gathered is that 3 methods of tenderization explained in Understanding Food and You by Amy Brown turned out to be quite effective. I would advise others to use these methods in case they're ever they're having get-togethers with families and just having wanting to experiment a bit on the different preparation methods. Definitely any one of these is a perfect way to have the family get together for a nice cookout.